I'm trying to make the Eagles better. And Hugh, the reason I think some people may disagree, and I'm excited for some people to agree because I think this is the right move, is I'm going to start the show today by agreeing with something that Elliot Shore-Parks said to us a couple days ago. You ready for this?
Yes.
Elliot Shore-Parks was in with us a couple days ago, and he presented with us. Remember, we had him in, and we were about to say goodbye, or I think I was about to ask him a question. He said, can I ask you guys a hypothetical? And I said, sure. And Elliot Shore-Parks said, hypothetically, would you trade the entire Eagles draft for Abdul Carter, the young pass rusher out of Penn State that's probably going to be a top 2 or 3 pick in the NFL draft? And I was kind of caught off guard by it because you hear that, right? The entire draft. And you're like, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. But Hugh, I've been thinking about Elliot's hypothetical question to us for 2 straight days. And the more I think about it, the more I would absolutely trade the entire draft for Abdul Carter. I'm all in for Abdul. I think about this draft, and I think the 2 best players by far are Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter. I'm not sure on any of these quarterbacks. Ward might be really good. He's going to go to Tennessee at 1. But Abdul Carter looks to me like a special pass rusher, like a truly special one. Micah Parsons, Aiden Hutchinson, like some of the best ones that come out the last 4 or 5, 6 years. He's in that mix. He is a local kid who is an Eagles fan. And I'm thinking about the Eagles. You always mention dollars and cents and salary cap stuff, right? We've talked a lot on this station about Myles Garrett, and we're on TJ Watch now. And you bring up a lot of stuff, Hugh, that's interesting with this because you always say, well, it's too expensive, right? They can't pay those players, so It's not worth going after them. Well, you think about the rookie wage scale. For the next 4 years, the number 2 pick in this draft, let's just say 2 or 3, right, if the Eagles had to trade up, is going to get a 4-year, $39 million contract. Think about how cheap that is compared to
what you had to pay like T.J. Watt or somebody. Yeah.
Myles Garrett got a 4-year, $160 million extension. That means Abdul Carter would cost about $10 million per year for the next 4 years. The best pass rushers in the NFL now cost $40 million. You're getting $30 million savings every year. I know it sounds crazy. I don't think it is. The Eagles have 8 picks in this draft. A first rounder, second rounder, third, all the last picks of those rounds, a 4th rounder, and then 4 fifths. Hugh Douglas, I would go Mike Ditka, Ricky Williams. If I'm the Eagles, if I'm Howie, I would call the Browns at 2. I'd call the Giants at 3, whichever one is willing to talk. I would trade the entire draft for Abdul Carter. Hugh, you're a pass rusher. Don't forget that, Hugh.
No, I'm not.
Would you trade the entire Eagles draft for Abdul Carter?
I like Abdul Carter. I think he's a hell of a player. I think that he would fit good on this defense. But here's the problem, Joe, because just like Ricky Williams, you gave up a lot for him.
Yes.
And Ricky Williams had a really, really good NFL career.
He did?
But he didn't have the kind of career that lived up to what you gave up to get him. And see, that's the unfortunate thing about what you're saying. I mean, I think Abdul Carter's a hell of a player. But no matter what he does, unless he goes out there and he has like a 15-sack season right out the gate and be the dominant player on this defense and do all that other stuff, it's going to be hard to live up to giving up all the stuff that you gave up to get him. That's the unfortunate thing about that, because of all the potential people that you could have gotten for that one person. Now, there's, they say no man's an island. He's a hell of a player, and I understand what you're trying to do because of the position we're in. We need a pass rusher.
And
we lost a lot.
Be cheap.
Yeah, he would be cheap because he fits the criteria. But to give up all of our picks to get one person, man, I just think about it like this. To put it in perspective, that's just like giving up all the picks for Quinyon Mitchell last year and not getting Cooper DeJean and Jaleel Hunt. You know what I mean? Like 2 guys that contributed because we had the ability and the draft picks to get those guys. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I understand that, that's the guy that we want. But a lot of times, guys like that, not saying that he's one of them, but guys like that, man, unfortunately, the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Yes, unless it is. And I understand your point. And look, I get it. It's risky. Elliot said it the other day. It's been in my head for 2 days here. It's super, super risky. I mean, you're right, Hugh, if he doesn't live up to the expectations or he gets hurt, right, you've put all your eggs in this basket. But my goodness, what a basket it is. I mean, this kid might be the next great NFL pass rusher. Again, he's got ties to this area. He went to the Super Bowl as an Eagles fan. He wants to be here. Unfortunately, there's no way he slips to 32, even with the foot issue he had. 215-592-9494. I'm trying to make the Eagles better for right now and extend their window. Think about this. For the next few years, they'd have under rookie contracts Abdul Carter, Jalen Carter before they have to pay him, Nolan Smith, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. 5 young, special, really, I think special young defensive players. They don't have to pay for a year, at least a year or two. And in Abdul Carter's case, 4 years. Let's hear Adam Schefter talking about the Eagles as a team to watch. We're less than 2 weeks to the NFL draft.
I think that they've got more firepower in this draft, or as much firepower in this draft as any team out there. And when you give a roster that's good enough to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, that's good enough to win the Super Bowl, when you give a Super Bowl champion roster 20 draft picks in the next 2 drafts to go have fun with, you become a team to watch. And that's obviously not even factoring in their aggressive tendencies to begin with. So that to me is the team to watch, as always, on draft weekend.
I'm just thinking about Abdul Carter in an Eagles uniform. The team to watch. And giving up 8 picks for one is an incredible amount. But let's not forget they have 12 picks in next year's draft. So we have next year's draft to keep adding all these extra pieces in. And you're right. You make a good analogy, right? If they had done this last year for Quinyon, maybe there's no Cooper DeJean, maybe there's no Jalix Hunt, right? All that. But we've been talking about this a lot the last few days with how he's drafting. Eventually, he's going to miss on some of these guys, right? So if they have 8 picks in this year's draft, I don't know. He's going to miss on what, 3 or 4, probably. Maybe. So maybe 3 or 4 of those picks are just there. They're not going to become anything for the Eagles anyway. I'm doing this. 215-592-9494. Let's hear from Vic Fangio. I also have his words in my head. He was at the Phillies game last week talking about all the Eagles have lost and how he's got to nudge Howie to go add talent now.
Hey, this year you had one of the greatest coaching turnarounds in NFL history from where the defense was at the end of last year, #1 in the NFL. And then you see you're losing 6 to 7 guys of your defense. How tough a part of the business is that?
It's tough, but it's part of it. But it gives me an opportunity and a reason to wear out Howie. And he's got to find replacements for these guys now. Yeah, we lost 5 starters, and 2 of those guys, their backups we lost too. So we lost a lot of players, but we'll find a way. And we got the draft coming up. Hopefully we'll get some guys there. And we got some young players that need the opportunity, and we'll find a way to get it done.
See, now we're talking here. We'll find a way. We'll get it done. And they're going to nudge Howie to add some talent here. 215-592-9494. Elliott said something to us the other day, which on the surface, probably sounded crazy. The more I think about it, the more from Howie Roseman I'm making the phone call to the Giants, to the Browns, 2 and 3 in the draft. I would offer the entire draft for Abdul Carter to bring that kid from Penn State to the Eagles. Kyle, where do you come down this morning as we are less than 2 weeks to the draft, and there is a special player out there that I want the Eagles to go get? What are you feeling?
Gilio. Yeah, dude, I'm in. Of course.
And this was an easy sell.
Yeah, I want to win back-to-back Super Bowls. I don't think you're going to get too many or any really impact players for this season at pick 32 in the second round, the third round. You might get contributors, guys who can help around the margins and stuff like that. And that's fine for the future and in later years. But the one way that the Eagles can go win the Super Bowl, I've been trying to get this done all offseason, is by taking a big swing on a player. We didn't get any star players through free agency. We just lost guys. The defense has a lot of holes. Abdul Carter can come in here and contribute to a Super Bowl right away.
Mm-hmm.
I need this to happen. We talked about T.J. Watt. We talked about Myles Garrett. Abdul Carter's more unproven than those guys, but he's a lot younger than those guys. And he's going to be cheaper. So I understand the whole idea of, you can get your Mailatas in the 7th and stuff like that, but Jordan Mailata took a few years to really become the impact player that he is now. I want immediate impact. And if that means we lose a lot of draft picks this season, all of our draft picks besides the one that we get to use to get Abdul Carter, then I'm in. We almost, and Schefter made this point too.
We almost have too many draft picks.
They do.
And the roster is good. Make no mistake about it. We've complained this offseason about the roster and the players they lost. It's still a really good top of the NFL roster, there's going to be no room for all of these rookies to fit on the team.
Off of that, of the 8 draft picks that I'm willing to give up for Abdul Carter, how many might not make the team? 3 just by accident?
Right.
So, I mean, come on. We're all in for Abdul. This is a no-brainer, Hugh.
Some of us are all in for Abdul. Some of us are all in.
I don't agree with that. I just look at it.
Don't you like the alliteration all in?
No, I like all in for Abdul.
That's what we do here.
But I think that you could still, because we still got to fill holes. We got to get a linebacker, which, he feels part of that. But we still got to get another one because we don't know what's going to happen with Kobe Dean. We still got to get some secondary players. I like Abdul Carter. But this is a draft where I feel like you can get somebody that's just as good or comparable in this draft that you don't have to give up that much for.
To Abdul?
Yeah, I think so. Now, when you talk about the underwear Olympics and everything that he did in college, the combine, because that's what we're talking about, how he went to the combine and how he blew people away and
people
things
should call
like
it
that.
that more. They used to be
call it. It used to be called the underwear Olympics.
like
it used
that.
to be called the underwear because you was in your drawers. You took pictures in your drawers.
Well, the Tom Brady one, people still show that one.
You were in your drawers.
Yeah.
So people get enamored with that, and I think, and let's be honest, as fans, we watch. That's probably the most that we've seen from most of these players and highlights. Like the scouts are the ones that have been boots on the ground, been watching this guy since he came into college and all that other stuff. And that's why he's graded the way he is. But the underwear Olympics is where they really shine and they really get excited about the 40 times and the shuttles and stuff like that. That happens every year. I'm playing chess. This feels like a checkers move to me because you're putting all your eggs into one basket hoping that this one basket, because of what you've been told by the scouts, works out for you. But he still got a foot issue. Still has a foot injury that he did not have surgery on. I mean, and he says he's fine. I know he went to some alternative medicine and whatever, and his agent told him that everything was fine and everything's going to be okay. But that still could potentially be an issue moving forward. So now we didn't gave up everything for this draft pick, and he's not ready to play during the season. The reason why he didn't get the surgery right now is because he knew that it would probably hurt his draft stock. That's why you wait. And you let teams speculate, and the team that gets you, if you have to have surgery, then they opt to have surgery. So it's a lot going on with this, people.
It's risky. I get it. But the upside is immense. I mean, I think he could be the best pass rusher in the league at some point. I mean, that's how good this player is. And I think he wants to be here again. He attended the Super Bowl as an Eagles fan.
I mean, and he probably, with his pops. Wouldn't he go with his pops?
He went with his pops.
Awesome.
And today he's visiting the Giants. We're going to let him go to the Giants. I mean, it is ironic. Micah Parsons wants to be here. Obviously, he's wanted to be here his whole career.
Everyone wants to be here.
Yeah, Roy, that's true. But there's an irony to this. It's just weird. Parsons wants to be here. He's stuck with the Cowboys. Now, obviously, this kid, Abdul Carter, wants to be an Eagle. He's going to get stuck with the Giants. Get him here. Make the offer. I know it's risky, but if he works out, I don't think the risk is really like, what are these players going to become in the 5th round? Maybe something.
When was Jalen Hurts drafted?
3rd round. 3rd round. But half of their draft is in the 5th round. They
literally
have
Come on.
Wait a minute, what round did Dog go in? Wasn't he a 5th round?
Second.
Dog was a second round?
They have 4.
Does not. No, because I don't remember what round.
Narrative.
I was trying to fit my narrative. Ike was drafted in the 5th round, though, I think.
Hold on a second. Ike would trade himself for Abdul Carter.
No, he wouldn't.
I'm going to ask him today.
No, he wouldn't.
Ike wouldn't trade himself for Abdul Carter?
This is a true story.
He would do that in a heartbeat.
I remember seeing Ike play football his rookie. I was in Cincinnati for something in the mid. I was about to say the Wolverines, the Spartans. I hope he ain't up
he's going to
listening.
beat you up.
But I remember Ike. I remember watching Ike pass rush because he was a pass rusher initially out of college. I mean, when he went to college, because he played his freshman year. I'll never forget that. I was like, damn, that 44, he can pretty damn good.
And look who became Mike Reese.
Then he became a for real linebacker. Yeah.
You know who else would trade Ike Reese for Abdul Carter? Howie Roseman. He would.
No.
215-592-9494.
100%, man.
Should the Eagles trade their entire draft? Would you trade the Eagles' entire draft for Abdul Carter? I would do it. Elliot mentioned to us the other day. It's been stuck in my head. This draft is a weird one sitting at 32. We don't know what they're going to get. We don't know what's going to be there. I do know this. Abdul Carter is a special prospect, and I would do it today.